Hello and welcome to the RLANZ Telstra Premier Series for the first time this season, Season 2 of the first ever Telstra Clash. I'm Isaac and I'm here with Stuart.
Double duties, yay!
Oh yes.
This race, yes.
As we are about to go 38 laps around the Daytona International Speedway with the returning drivers of the series, which in this series is only 16. Kinda like RLANZ Cup Series Season 2.
Shut up!
But anyways, let's get straight to rolling off and then we'll get to the starting lineup. But that's the wrong button.
What?
I pressed the screenshot button instead of the pause button.
Oh, for God's sake.
This is the second race in a row where I've had problems getting rolling off. Anyways, starting on the pole is the 7 of Patrick Schamberger, and alongside him, not a teammate, but even though I believe the font is the same, it's the 63 of Sebastian Woodard, who was the champion last season if you remember. And then the 89 of Dominic Anthony in his free-scale car, and then on the outside of him, in 4th position, the 70 of Lewis Penaranda, who drove the number 2 last season. Row 3, you have the 6 of Jonathan Wishart, who drove the 11 and won last season's Tropicana 250, now actually going to be called the Daytona 500 this season. And alongside him, the 02 of Jackson Crowder, who drove both in the Suncorp Cup Series and last season. In row 4 we have the 25 of Stuart Grattan, who in TPS Season 1 drove in the number 35, and in the Suncorp Cup Series drove in the number 34. Alongside him,
I had success in either.
No. In the number 9 is William Brock, who he drove in the 10 in Season 1. And I've run out of time to actually say where everybody else is from. Row 5, the 22 of Daniel Bouchard and the 14 of Kian Rowley. And then you have Logan Brown, Noah Castelline, Parker Brown, Josh Crash, Kanan Thacker, and Nick Smith rounding out the field. Anyways, pace car has rolled in. And the green flag is out for the first ever Telstra Clash and Season 2 of the preseason of the Telstra Premier Series. And already we are going 3 wide with Wishart on the bottom with Anthony and Penaranda. On the backstretch now, and Grattan going to go 4 wide on the first lap. And he's going to stick it down there as well. We could have a wreck on the first lap with Wishart and Anthony. You've got to be careful here. Out of 4, they're going to make contact and they're going to stay 4 wide. And for now, they're going to get out of it.
Good job. Very good job.
And with that Nicotech engine, Grattan is looking to take the lead. Of course, the field was randomized and you can start to see some faster engines getting to the front. Of course, Cam Rowley, who's also part of Nicotech, the same engine of Grattan's car, having a bit of trouble getting to the front. Although it is a plate track and drafting is key here, so you may see a no-name or a very slow car win this race. Danny Bouchard that takes the lead.
Nearly 4 wide again too, back there.
Rowley going to do the same thing that Grattan did on the first lap. I don't think it'll work this time around out of 4. It's gonna be, yeah, 4 wide? No, they're 3 wide. But once again, doing what Grattan did with that Nicotech racing engine. And the next fastest team who was in this race, I believe, is Rainy Motorsports, and Daniel Bouchard is from Rainy Motorsports, and he may be able to show up these Nicotech engines.
Gonna go 4 wide again? No.
Oh well, Parker Brown looked. He's not going to do it.
He's
actually going to look out of 4, and they're going to bump side by side, and he's
save it.
going to fall back again. Now that 24 is from Outlaw Motorsports, which isn't the slowest team here, but is second slowest. The slowest would be Dominic Anthony, although he has quite high ratings in this race, and just pretend that never happened, okay?
Go 3 wide again. 24 shuffled to the middle. It's going to fall back. We're seeing some more 3 wide now.
And there's a bit more, almost 4 wide, with a bit of contact with Dominic Anthony and Josh Crash. They're going to get out of it now.
I don't think they realise this is 38 laps and we're only on lap 6.
No.
So, you need to be careful. 25's lost his help. 63's going to get shuffled. And 22 might be able to clear. Not quite.
Now, Nick Smith is going to try and look underneath Logan Brown. He's not going to make it 4 wide, but he is going to get around them. As Bouchard has now cleared the 25, he's got to try and hold off Patrick Schamberger, and he isn't. Schamberger is going to get there, and we're almost 4 wide again.
14 moving his way through the middle.
With a little bit of help from satellite team JN Racing number 9.
Of course, his teammates in second, trying to go for the lead, the number 7, Schamberger.
Yep. Now, the dominant manufacturer in this series does seem to be Chevrolet, but of course, when we get to the actual season, you'll see possibly NRLA Motorsports, which is
a bit more variety.
A Dodge team. Now, there are Fords in here, but these are very low-rated teams, and highly doubt that many of those cars are actually going to make the races when we get to this season. But it's good to see that Ford with a very strong showing in this race.
And Schamberger lost his help in the 7.
Quite interesting seeing those 2 Nicotech cars up there, maybe helping each other out to keep going out to the front. And
there goes 25 again down on the bottom.
With a push from Riley, he's going to get to the inside, and he may keep that run going through.
3 wide again. 14's cleared as well. Now it's trying to go to the outside, helping the 22.
Grattan's going to get around now. Riley's going to help Bouchard and not his teammate, which is an interesting move. And 25. Oh, Bouchard has blown up.
Oh, you're kidding.
Trying to get to the inside. He's holding up everyone, but the 2 Nicotech cars have now pulled away.
That's good news for the pack. because now those two Nicotech cars are isolated, and as the pack, like, they're going to have a massive run of them, probably get their best shot to pass them. But that's a shame for the 22.
Very big shame, and hopefully that's not a sign of things to come in the season. As
Needs to be careful. Doesn't want to stop it here. Like, true caution. You just never know.
The smoke
Well,
is stopping, so the engine has also stopped. So he's gonna reset back to pit lane, and I do not believe that we will get a caution here as we stay green for now. And he's back in pit, so
it's just,
we won't have
it's
a
just a
yellow.
little concern. Just a little concern. 63 now to third. That is Wooded.
From, I believe that is GL Racing. Yes.
Yes, it is GL Racing. See how big the pack is. The two Nicotech cars are on their own, and that's going to be a good opportunity for them to get by the 25 and the 14.
Of course, they may. Well, at the line, they were over 3 seconds back, but they've definitely gained some of that ground back.
Yeah, you would think with such a big pack compared to the two cars on their own. Yeah, almost a second. There you go, there's your answer. Rally going to the lead here in the 14. Easily gets by the 25.
Now, they got to work together here if they want to have any chance against this huge pack. Of course, it probably won't be enough to keep them away, but it may do some sort of help.
What would be interesting is if the pack comes up on the double file. That might be their best chance of keeping the lead.
Absolutely, and
someone maybe like Schamberger makes it 3 wide on the bottom.
now I believe the team other than Nicotech Racing, who is competitive, who has quite a few drivers from Season 1 returning, I believe would be JM Racing. You see, you've got Schamberger, you've got William Brock and Josh Crash, 3 of the 4 drivers. The other driver, of course,
Noah Clifton, 28.
Yeah, the only rookie in that team. Of course, Nicotech Racing, Jack Borgen's the only rookie there.
And of course, if anyone does know my channel very well, they will know who Noah Clifton is. But probably not a lot of you will know.
And once again, another almost a second off that time margin between them as they go double file again. Switching positions now. They're probably playing smart because they know what can happen to their engines if they stay behind each other for too long. And I think that's what they're doing here.
Trying to get some fresh air, yeah.
As they don't want.
But to be fair, the 22 did blow up from the lead when he had fresh air, so
You never know.
maybe got some debris on the grill.
Well,
Never
possibly.
know. There's the front 2.
And a considerable amount of time, as they will be double file as... No, they're going to go single file on the backstretch. And that may... they're going to slow down the whole field here, but Schamberger's going to go to the inside of Grattan for second. And may even go for the lead, but we've got a bit of 4 wide happening here. That's Castellan and Crowder making contact.
Whoa, moving up the track.
And there it is.
And they're gone. There you go. That was going to happen eventually.
Nope, they're around.
6 and 64, the 6 of Wishard.
And Brock is also involved here.
Well, yeah. Cannon Thacker.
Almost getting hit by Castellan again, and there's a lot of right side damage on that car. Of course, I believe everything else up front is okay, as Raleigh looks like he only just barely kept the lead there. But
it's a big positive for Raleigh.
On the other hand, Schamberger gets around for second. So tough break for those drivers. But we're going to go back and see what happened to bring out the first caution in Telstra Clash. bit of pit strategy here. As we go back, we haven't come to the replay yet, just because.
Oh, this makes things interesting because you see all those guys at the back there, the 9, the 09.
They're coming down because
They can make it. These guys, I don't know if they can make it.
No. So a bit of pit strategy here, as we now go to the replay. It all started with Josh Crash, made it 4 wide, and then the 09 and 02 come together, and the 70 I think may have come down as well. But they spin around and then...
Oh, Brock nearly got away with it and just slapped the track into the wall.
Yeah, he couldn't hold it in the grass, and that's what happened there. As we're also going to see how close Schamberger got to getting the race back to the line, and
it's even closer behind for third.
Yeah.
25.89.
Very good run for the 89 here. The slowest car in the field, but he's making the most of it on this plate track. Anyways,
he restarts third anyway.
He does. Or fourth, the 89.
Well, 25's came in, so...
Oh yeah, third. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But let's get back to the restart here at Daytona. Coming back to the green, and Bouchard eventually, we found out that it's a header problem which took him out of the race, so tough luck for him. As the first restart here with, that is
about halfway.
19 laps to go.
So halfway through this race.
And the moves already being made by actually faster drivers. You can see their acceleration. Of course, Stuart Grattan already making 3 moves on 3 possibly, yeah, definitely damaged cars, and now he's going to make his way through. He can't quite get past Thacker here. He's going to try and hang around the outside there.
What is interesting, I would like to point out with the 25, like all those guys, the 9, the 09, 25, they all came in. They can make it the whole way. The rest of the field, pretty close on fuel.
A bit iffy, but that caution, I'm not sure if it saved them or not, but we're going to have to see at the end of this race.
Depends if they save fuel. If they didn't save fuel, then they'll have to pit again. 25 probably won't. So, keep that in mind.
Now, the thing is, this race was actually planned to have a smaller pit load, about half. But, in a last second move, the officials decided we'll give them the full tank, the full load for the race, and it could work in their favour, I'm not sure, but once again, Grattan trying to get past these slower drivers as the top 2 and now the top 3 are kind of pulling away a bit here. As Schamberger now making a move on Crash, he's
teammates
not going to work together here. They're, of course, racing for a win, and although this is just an exhibition race, it's still a win.
It could be a big momentum booster.
Coming into the actual Daytona 500 in the duels.
Yeah.
Of course, before that we'll have pole qualifying, which will actually be recorded, and each driver will have 2 laps, and
yeah.
Crash now trying to get underneath of Woodard, and
look at the 25 just closing in.
Yeah, he's gone from, in 2 laps, from pretty much last except for 2 positions, almost into the top 5 now. And now, Crash slowing down a bit there.
25 goes low, 78's going to get help on the outside though, 25 gets none.
Now that was an interesting move there. I don't know if it was intentional or he just... I don't know, he seems a bit slower than before. I don't know if there's anything wrong with the car. I have to keep an eye on that. As now, Nick Smith is
he's going to go
around.
3 wide.
And
There you
Grattan
go.
3 wide for second, and it is now a Nicotech 1-2 here.
Big push from the car behind. I can't tell the number of that one.
That is the 0-2, and it's...
Yeah, Crowder, okay.
Grattan now going for the lead on his teammate Raleigh.
Didn't get any fresh tyres in the 25, so...
Just a stop and go splash of fuel.
Yet again, everyone just wants to be with the 14 on the outside.
It's quite reminiscent of this year's real life Coke 0400. Everyone seeming to be running the high lane at the moment.
It's not working out for the 25 down low. He's got no help.
Now, 78. After slowing down a couple laps ago, looks like he's back under full power. I don't know whether it was a momentary issue or just slowing down to maybe get some fresh air or something. He's now back in it, and in third. He's going to go high here and back down low.
Could go low if he wants. There it goes. Now he's going to have no help because the 25, I'm sure, would go to the outside. No, he goes down low.
And back up high. He's
testing out a few things by the looks of it.
And he's going to stay with Schamberger there. A lot of drivers now choosing to use that high lane, and there's actually a bit of 3 wide here with Anthony, Crowder, and Brown. That is Logan Brown. There's 2 different Browns in this series, just like in the Audi Cup Series. Well, I said Audi Cup Series. Why did I say Audi Cup Series? Telstra Premier Series Season 1. They ran, I believe Logan Brown was in the 5 and Parker Brown. He was, I can't off the top of my head remember, but I believe it was the 1.
I want to say the 42, but I could be wrong.
Possibly. I'm pretty sure it was the 1, though. Anyways, Kim Raleigh, who could have won the championship in Season 1.
25 again.
Now has an even faster, possibly even faster car than last season to possibly win the championship. And you would think you'd be quite surprised if at the end of the season, the Championship 4 doesn't have one of these drivers, or maybe even all of them, in that Championship 4.
25, of course, is uncharted, though. So
yeah, and
probably D&Q at least once.
In a couple of non-charted test sessions that we had, this car did actually, because they do have to, sometimes running together is the key to getting a fast lap at some tracks, and Grattan, in some of those test sessions, didn't make what would be the cut for the race. So you'll have to keep an eye on that, and of course those sessions, those non-charted qualifying sessions, will be recorded and uploaded alongside qualifying for everyone else. And I'm actually not sure how long that qualifying would take. I think you'll have a 10-minute non-charted session and 3 other actual race qualifying sessions. Could take up to half an hour. Quite possibly. Now, trying new lanes, Grattan. They're all starting to go single file here, and as I say that, they're all back pretty much double file, and once again, maybe even going for the lead here. May have to get a good run of the corner if he wants to do that. There's more 3 wide. You got Woodard, Schamberger, and Smith, and the pass for the lead right into the inside. I apologize.
None of these cars have like real help as well, so this kind of makes it an even playing field at the moment.
As
63 close again.
See, yeah, and might even go for the lead on this lap.
It's got a good draft.
Now I apologize if there is any background noise, but
for once it's probably not me.
Yeah. And gonna sneak up the inside here. Try and get the lead. He doesn't seem to have that good of a run. Of course, there's 5 cars on the high lane and 4 cars on the low lane. And of course, you see that run with the high lane prevailing.
But the 63 hanging in there. We haven't seen a lot of that today.
Now
and now 25 clears.
Just keeping an eye on these damaged cars. No, that's out of 4, I believe. No, we don't have to worry about them then.
Yeah, they're. We'd like to mention the 9 car is actually not that far off the pack, even though he was the guy I thought that took the hardest hit, William Brock there in the 9.
Yeah, you would think a lot of right side damage there hitting the wall, and some of that may even have been to the engine, as Riley now going to go for the lead. And
it's going to be one of these 2 guys winning the race, I think, or maybe 63 or 7, but really I don't see anyone else, to be honest.
Crowder and Anthony a little bit slow there. May have been a little bit of an issue, but didn't really see what happened there. But Riley now with a bit of a lead here, and that's really not what you want to have at a track like this, where the drives behind you can get quite a bit of speed.
And what you don't want to do if you're the inside lane, hang on, actually never mind.
As Stuart will now have to go momentarily.
Thanks for that. I was about to say, because they're making it 3 wide. What the inside they cannot do is they cannot make it 3 wide. If it's going to stay double file, the rest of this race cannot make it 3 wide down the back when you just right up on the back of each other, because it's going to probably lose you the race. We've got 3 wide here for second.
And right now prevailing, I believe that is actually, no, it's the high lane. But for a moment I thought it was the middle lane, because Schamberger was giving Woodard a bit of a push there, and now into turn 3 he may even get the position, but Riley's gonna give him some of the job.
There
and there's
pit stops.
First pit stop, Josh Crash coming in, and
That's interesting.
a bit of pit strategy that we saw earlier on the race. Grattan was the only one to come in.
It splits the pack, only 5 cars.
5 possibly in contention for this race, as we only have 3 laps left here.
Look at that, 25 just goes to the outside. That's
going to the outside. This may mean that
something
Riley...
I've never seen, actually. I've never seen that happen at Daytona.
Now this
that
may
might be him trying to stay out because the 14's coming in, maybe.
And it looks as though he may be coming in here, and he will not be, actually, as
there goes
4 of Logan Brown coming in, and Parker Brown as well.
Only have a couple laps left as well on lap 37, yes, so 2 laps to go. This is about as far as these guys can go. The 25 car, of course, came in, so
a little bit of a... Now, if you try and remember back to the Suncorp Cup Series, Daytona 250, it came down to fuel mileage, and Parker Brown won that race, I believe. No,
25
Parker
slow.
Retzlaff. It was a different Parker. Parker Retzlaff won that on fuel mileage. And they're going to stay out. Of course, we are coming to the white flag, so they will want to stay out.
And of
right
course
now,
these guys had that caution, so
a bit of fuel saving. Now there's a lot of help on that outside. 3 versus 1. And right now that's helping the 14.
That might have just cost the 25 the race, I think.
A huge run, not too big of a run on the backstretch, and Grattan sort of holding here, but I think Riley may have got this race.
Oh, he's blocking. He might be coming in here.
Going down the inside, he may know something.
He's out. Yeah, there you go. 63 is going to win, is he?
Holding up his own teammate. Wood is going to win this race.
Oh my goodness me.
The Season 1 champion, and coming out with a bang, of course. It may have been pure luck, but he's going to win the Clash here. And, of course, maybe a bit of momentum. As you see, he's now out of fuel. A bit of momentum.
14 must have run out of fuel, surely.
Yes. This happened to, it was Nicholas Grattan in the Daytona 250 in the Suncorp Cup Series, and it's happened again, and he's down to the apron, out of fuel.
Yeah, he's out. So that's interesting.
Of course, I believe Grattan...
So the caution did help them.
The only one still with fuel here, pretty much. But Woodard has won the Telstra Clash, maybe continuing the momentum he got from the championship win.
Graham will be annoyed at that, I think. Yeah, I have a feeling he'll be fairly annoyed at the 14 for just coming down and blocking him.
He could have had this race won.
If he blocked at 63, 25 would have got by on the outside with on the inside with no issues, but...
As we now have a look at the rest of the results, you see Kian Riley actually ending up getting second there, and you got Grattan in third, Schamberger in fourth and fifth, the 02 of Jackson Crowther, sixth, the 72 of Nick Smith, seventh, the 89 of Dominic Anthony, eighth and 9, who was the first of those drivers who were involved in that wreck.
William Brock in the 09 finished 9th. They also came down with the 25, so might have been the right call there. Got themselves top 10s.
And 09 of Noah Castelline in 9th, and then you've got Jonathan Wishard, Lewis Panoranda, Logan Brown, Josh Crash, Parker Brown, and Kanan Thacker finishing a lap down, and that may have been because he had to pit. And of course,
he was slow. He was slow, so
tough break for the 22 of Daniel Bouchard out with a header problem. He may have had, he could have had a much better race, and hopefully that's not a sign of things to come when we do get to the duel and the Daytona 500. Of course, there's still a little bit more to do before the 500. There's still a few more cars to paint that I need to paint, but I was able to get this out a little bit earlier because, of course, a lot less cars in this field. But the season's finally started, and that's a good sign. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one, which will most likely be race 2 of the Caltex series. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye!